research and recognize that for sure, this is the truth. In any organization, allow me to submit to you, there are people we call the directors. And then we have managers and HODs who are responsible for different things. And then we have the other members of the staff. In my opinion, the directors are the ones who think because they come up with policies on how the organization should be run. True or false? Let's see. And then managers and HODs have a responsibility to implement the policies. And then you have the other bunch of people that if you're not careful, you'll be waking up every morning, coming to work, and then go back in the evening, sit in front of a television, wake up in the morning, coming to work, and if you don't develop a habit of thinking, and you get retrenched at the age of 45 or 50, if you're given another 3 years and you don't reinvent yourself, sure enough you can die. I encourage people to come up with a habit of thinking. The art of visualization has been known all over the world to help people build their goals to become subconscious reflex habits. When I talk about a cognitive map, I'm talking about a mental map that you create within you to guide you to where you want to go in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. Where are you going to be? Or where do you want to be? It's hard work when it comes to individuals. Most of the time, when it comes to organization, it's easy for people to come up with strategic plans. But when it comes to individual lives, we find it very difficult to sit down and develop some things that will guide us towards our future. A cognitive map, therefore, can never be realized unless you come up with something I call developing or initiating an internal locus of direction within you. For this to happen, then you need to develop a habit of thinking. You need to develop a habit of creating time to have quiet time and listen to the inner voice. In this busy world, especially in a city like Nairobi where we are very busy every day, you realize that if you are not careful, you will not even have enough time, even 30 minutes during the day to think. And some of the people may ask me, what do we think then? That's where you start. How do you develop a habit of having a quiet time where you begin to think about your life and begin to develop resource and creativity that can push you to the next level, what I call a mountaintop of significance. For in life we need to move from survival to stability, then from stability to success, from success to significance. Success is when I'm adding value to myself. Significance is when I add value to other people. It is therefore important to realize that creating a cognitive map for your life as an individual is very, very important. Do you have time with yourself? Do you have time to think and listen to the inner voice so that you push yourself to the next level? Having time with yourself will develop an understanding of who you are. I'm a psychologist and I believe in what we call cognitive psychology, where human beings can change their habits by changing the way they think. When you come to that point where you begin to understand yourself, it's easier for you to begin to understand many other things that surround you. A story is told of 2 boys who went to the hospital for a test. When they arrived there, when one of the boys arrived there, he found that the other boy was coming out of the doctor's room crying. Full of pride, he asked the boy, "Why are you crying? Are you afraid?" And the boy had to answer him literally, said, "I've come here for my blood test, and for my blood test the doctor had to cut my finger." At that point, the other boy also began to cry. And so this boy asked him, "Why are you also crying?" And he said, in the midst of sobbing, "Because I've come here for my urine test." In his understanding, the way a blood test is carried is the same way a urine test is carried. The moral of the story is that when you don't have time with yourself to begin to develop the cognitive map within you, then it's sure you will come to a place of assuming you know a lot of things and you understand a lot of things. Another key point is to develop individual leadership. I said you can never lead the world unless you learn how to lead yourself. You can never push the world unless you learn how to push yourself. It's important, therefore, to come to a point of developing individual leadership. I see a lot of people desiring to lead in so many things, but they don't know even how to lead themselves. The truth of the matter is that if I begin to ask you today, do you have a purpose for your life? A purpose statement? Do you have your own personal philosophy by which you live? Do you have your own mission statement that guides you? I'm not talking about the organizational mission statement. I'm talking about your own personal mission statement that guides you day in, day out in how to live your life. I would therefore urge you then to come to the point of beginning to develop a purpose statement for yourself. It is Martin Luther King Jr. who said, if a man has nothing worth his dying for, he's not worth living. What are you living for? Because if a man has nothing worth dying for, he's not worth living. The tragedy of life is not that we die, ladies and gentlemen. The tragedy of life is what dies inside of us while we are still alive. It's easy to be trapped in the arena of life, never discovering individual leadership that can cause you to move into the mountaintop of success as significant. Do you have a purpose statement? Do you have a mission that you live for? Do you have a personal philosophy that guides you? Because in the cognitive map, once you have focused, and life is a study of attention, once you are focused and you are attentive towards a particular direction, even when you detour, you know I'm supposed to come back into my direction. I have done this for myself and evaluated and planned for my life in the next 50 years. If I'm still alive, step by step, what do I want to achieve? Because you say when you plan as though you're not going to die. When you pray as though you're going to die the next minute. It is a pity that life is a guessing work to many individuals. We are satisfied with petty achievements. And at the beginning of the year, we create resolutions. But believe me, resolutions without solutions is only illusions. That's why we forget it before the end of January. And so developing individual leadership will push you to the next level. Charles de Gaulle says that history does not teach us fatality. People get the history that they deserve. At the end of the day, when you are 50 years of age, when you are 60 years of age, when you are 70 years of age, and when you are 80 years of age or beyond, you will only get the history that you deserve. The former Secretary General of UN, Kofi Annan, says, to live is to choose. But to choose well, one must know who he is and what he stands for, where he wants to go, and why he wants to go there. So, what do you stand for? Where do you want to go? And why do you want to go where you want to go? This is the question I'm posing to us this evening. Do you have a direction? Or you assume you know the direction? A preacher visited a town. He was looking for his direction to the General Post Office. He couldn't find it. He met with a young boy around 8 years of age, and he asked the young boy for the direction to the General Post Office. The young boy precisely gave him a good direction. Then the preacher turned to the boy and said to the boy, if you come to my meetings tonight, I will show you the direction to heaven. The boy looked at him.